The emotions are back at it.
Overreact much?
I barely touched it. Those morons broke the console.
They can drive you crazy, bring you the most happiness possible, make you angry, sad, fearful, anxious, etc., etc. I absolutely love all the Inside Out movies, and recently, after rewatching Inside Out 2 on the plane ride to the Bahamas, see the nice tan and color I got?
I have seen this only one other time. It's the ultimate tan.
See the nice tan and color I got on my amazing trip, which by the time this video comes out will have been a few weeks ago, but like you guys check out all the pictures out on my social media. I'm looking like toasted marshmallow though, as my best friend James described this, even though like I actually started out like more as like a burnt marshmallow. But I want to talk about the 5 best life lessons from the movie Inside Out 2 with a heavy focus on anxiety and how to reframe our thoughts and shift our attitude around it. Because I've dealt with anxiety many times throughout my whole life, but while I initially viewed my whole sensitivity and anxiety as like these horrible things that made me weak, and as someone who couldn't handle the challenges of life, and I realized that every emotion has its place.
I'm anxiety. I'm one of Riley's new emotions, and we are just super jazzed to be here.
And that even anxiety doesn't have to be seen as something that's like wrong with us, but we can actually use it to remind ourselves of what matters to us, as well as I want to teach you guys what it all means and how to properly view our emotions in their rightful place. So I'm going to be doing this through the lens of Inside Out 2, the movie, which dives into Riley's inner state as she gets older and reveals how growth and change are inevitable, but the key is learning how to adapt, as well as like I'm also going to be discussing it through the lens of my own life experiences. So without further ado, let's dive deeper now.
Give me a...
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to Jared and James channel. I'm Jared Weiss. If you guys know it, must be not subscribe to the channel so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts on this video. And if you guys have not already, make sure to check out my book, Fight Through by Jared Weiss. All links purchased are on my website, which is jaredryanweiss.com. Also on jaredryanweiss.com. Be sure to check out all the new shirts and merch. So I think all that stuff is really cool. So if you guys support me in any way, it would be very much appreciated. And follow me on every platform as well. I think I forgot to say that. So now for the 5 best lessons about anxiety and our emotions from the movie Inside Out 2. Now first up, your anxiety is trying to help, but it doesn't mean that you have to do what it says. Acknowledge its presence, but then make the logical decision that you know is going to be best for you.
I can take notes, get coffee, manage your calendar, walk your dog, carry your things, watch you sleep.
As we see in the movie, anxiety is so obsessed with and so convinced like she's helping Riley by coming up with every situation in her head to be worried about.
I'm not good enough. Oh no, what did I do? Anxiety, you're putting too much pressure on her.
And always preparing for the worst, and this ends up leading to her not hanging out with her best friends, telling all the cool people that she didn't actually like her favorite band, and ultimately becoming someone she's not in order to protect her from bad things happening.
I was just trying to protect her.
But as we can see as the movie progresses, this fear-based and anxiety-based way of thinking didn't make her happier, didn't make her better. So yes, anxiety often does have good intentions, but this does not mean like you have to follow its advice and allow that to control all of your actions. So as I've said in the past, it's not necessarily about controlling all of your thoughts, because while we can shift our focus, we can't micromanage every single thought that like pops into our heads.
Got an order from the boss. Dump everything that isn't about fine dining. Everything?
But we can control our actions and how we respond to these thoughts, and whether or not we actually act on them. It's okay and even normal for the most part for anxiety to hang around as a temporary visitor, mostly in the background, but we do not want to give anxiety control of the wheel. Next up, the next lesson I want to get into is every emotion has its place in our lives, as I'm always saying, and we don't get past them by denying ourselves of these feelings, or by shoving them away. We feel them and allow them to pass through us, no matter how long they feel the need to stay. And sometimes joy will try to make you think like you can't be sad ever.
This is the circle of sadness. Your job is to make sure that all the sadness stays inside of it.
Or your anxiety will make you feel like you can't or you're not supposed to be happy and relaxed. But when you realize like every emotion has its place, and you are going to feel the whole gamut throughout your life, sometimes more intense than others, then what you realize is that like, they're not meant to be pushed away or suppressed and shoved under the rug, but rather felt fully for however long they need to be, and then and only then will they actually pass through us. But the more friction or resistance like you create around them, you're either going to be prolonging their stay or allowing them to hang out underneath in the background as trapped emotions, which isn't something we want either. And in the movie Inside Out 2, we see how some of these trapped emotions and trapped thoughts, or suppressed thoughts of things like Riley didn't want other people knowing about her, and that she convinced herself to get rid of, how these end up in like this underground dungeon.
Hi, friends. Here's a little secret.
Riley still likes the show.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pouchy.
And also, there comes a time when we may have to embrace new and unfamiliar feelings and emotions. Like how in the movie, Riley get hit with anxiety and embarrassment seemingly out of nowhere, as well as envy and this other like French emotion, I think.
That's ennui.
On what?
Ennui. It's what you would call the boredom.
So this is a reminder that emotions evolve as we do, and sometimes get even way deeper. But understanding these emotions and their place helps us to better understand ourselves too. And all of our emotions also work together to guide us through our lives. And when we allow ourselves to feel each and every emotion without judgment, we ultimately find balance and wisdom. Next up, the next life lesson I want to get into from this movie about our mental health and our emotions is how your anxiety is actually a reminder of how much you care about that thing. So it's actually a really good thing to reframe your anxiety, as I've experienced and like as I've done with my own anxiety in the past. Try to see it as, okay, this is reminding me of how important this thing is to me. So it's not wrong or bad for being there. It does just want to help, even though sometimes it might drive you crazy.
Help Riley prepare. Now's the time to send up every possible thing that could go wrong.
It's like how one type of anxiety is known as performance anxiety. So whether it's an upcoming basketball game or a test, or maybe about a relationship or a friendship, think about it. If these things didn't matter to you at all, you would have no reason to be nervous about it. So if you choose to see it as, thanks for reminding me of how much I care about this thing, but I'm still going to go ahead and do what I need to do, you can take back some of the control from these more negative emotions.
You don't get to choose who Riley is.
And maybe that anxiety won't disappear right away, but at least you're going to be doing what's best for you and make the decision like you know you have to do. And in this movie, we see how Riley cares so much about making the hockey team, but of course she ends up taking it too far because she ties her whole identity into, I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough. You have to score, Riley!
So this pushes her to hog the puck, to look at the coach's notes when she wasn't supposed to, and knock her friends over because her anxiety convinced her like she wasn't doing enough. And I'm sure that we've all felt that way before at one point or another, so we try to prove ourselves too much, and it actually ends up backfiring. So this is where reminding ourselves of how much we matter, in spite of our stats, in spite of our grades, in spite of our job, without any external validation needs, becomes essential. Next lesson from the movie Inside Out 2 is that sometimes things are going great, and then you get hit with like this unexpected challenge. Your friends move away, which has always been one of my fears if I'm being totally honest and open, or you suddenly have a bad game at the worst possible time, in the most important opportunity of your lifetime, that you've been preparing for so long, and just like doesn't go the way that you had hoped. Maybe you lose a loved one unexpectedly, or get your heart broken. Allow yourself to feel upset, and also talk about it, because if you're open about it, as like I know in my own life, I almost always feel better afterwards.
Riley, you okay? When you guys told me you were going to a different school, I freaked out.
I personally can't hold things in, and I know that a lot of other people do that. But if you're like me, having someone to talk to, whether it's a best friend or a family member, or even for some people a really good therapist, having someone to talk about your struggles with is essential. Also, sometimes no matter how strong you are, it's okay to let it out. It's okay to have a good cry. It's okay to get angry and hit our pillow. This is not a sign of weakness. It just means that we're human. We feel, and some of us feel things at a deeper level, and as there's a song that goes, sometimes it hurts to be human. But everything is temporary. So then we can always pick up the pieces and get ourselves back onto the happy and positive side once again. Next life lesson from Inside Out 2 is that your belief system can and will change and evolve over time. You don't have to stick with one way of thinking for your whole life, just because that way worked for you in the past. But make sure that your belief system about yourself and the world is working for you in your current state and not against you. And it's like also, the power of our words matters so much, as I'm always saying. So maybe in the past you found it to be a protective mechanism to use comedy or humor to shield you from your pain, and you actually suppress some of those bad emotions, but now you see how closing yourself off wasn't allowing you to fully heal. So then you remember that like it's okay to cry, and it's okay to have some negative emotions sometimes too, in order to make way for the less painful ones. And it's like, furthermore, you don't only have to be one thing. Riley realizes that she thinks she's just a good person.
Turns out when you put all of those beliefs together, they make the most wonderful thing of all. Her sense of self.
I'm a good person.
But sometimes she struggles, or does this or that, or messes up, but this doesn't change the core of who she really is.
I'm selfish. I'm kind.
I'm not good enough. I'm a good person.
Especially because we can't be on 100% of the time, but we should try our best to create principles to fall back on. It's like me in a lot of ways. I'm a walking anomaly, as I'm sure many of us are out there. I see myself as like a really good, kind-hearted person, and I also like listening to rap music. I'm very strong and strong-minded, but I'm also very sensitive and do cry sometimes. I love playing sports and working out and lifting heavy weights, but I also love reading. I was always a very strong student who loves learning a lot about things like that I'm interested in. I love spending time with family and friends, but I also love and cherish and really need a lot of alone time too. Most of the time, I'm an extremely happy, super positive, upbeat person, but like sometimes I do have a negative thought every now and then, and it's okay for me to feel that way. So as you can see, and I'm sure like there's probably plenty more examples I could come up with, you don't only have to be one thing. And by limiting your interests or your personality, you might be shutting off a really cool part of who you are at your core, and something that like the right people in your life would really appreciate about you, and love about you. So anyways guys, sum things up. Your emotions have their place. It's okay to realize that like we're not only gonna be one thing 100% of the time. Our emotions, if we learn how to navigate them and learn how to appreciate and give love to every one of them, we're gonna have a newfound wisdom and perspective on life that's gonna help us to navigate through it in a better, more healthy way. Anyways guys, let me know your thoughts on the movie Inside Out 2. I personally love both Inside Out movies, and I think both are actually really great for understanding our whole inner world and our mental health. So let me know if I missed anything. If you guys have done sorry, make sure to subscribe to the channel, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on the video, follow me on every platform, buy the book, buy the shirts, check out the shirts from the website too. I love you guys, stay positive, stay hustling, stay grinding, appreciate and love all your emotions, don't deny them, don't suppress them. Catch you guys next time, peace.